Hello everyone, Fusion here, welcome back to my next video. Now, as you can see, today I am not playing Star Wars The Old Republic as usual. I am instead playing Warframe, one of my absolute favorite games ever, right next to Star Wars The Old Republic. It's a game I just never get bored of. And in this first video I'm just going to give a quick explanation of the basics, and then I'm going to hop into a mission to show you some stuff. So yeah, let me get started by explaining what this game is all about, what the storylines are all about. So when you start, there's some tutorials you have to do. Now I am not a starter, I have played this game for a long time. Actually I have played it since it first came out back in, if I recall correctly, 2013. So when I say that, I don't exactly mean every day or something like that, but I have played it on and off with some breaks, and because my friends never played it, so I just have to play it by myself, and people I meet online, of course. But yeah, so let me explain. So basically, in one of the first missions you have to complete, you play solo, and basically this dude right here, I'm just gonna go to my arsenal quickly, so you can get a better look. This dude right here is called Necros. So you have someone called the Lotus, which is a woman who helps you during your missions, and basically anytime she will be talking to you, she will be referring to you as Tenno. Now a Tenno, which you can also see right here, is whoever or whatever is inside the suit you're playing with. So I can equip another one, and these are all Warframes. So a Tenno is what is inside a Warframe. A Warframe is basically just the suit. Every Warframe has 4 unique abilities, and you can mod them according to what abilities you want to use. Now, as you can see, I already have quite a lot of mods. I mean a lot. Don't have nearly enough though. There's like way more. I think there's like 4 times more mods, maybe more, than I already have collected, but yeah, that doesn't matter. Most of my mods are quite high level, so you can mod your Warframe however you like, however you want to use your abilities. As you can see here, you have 4 different stats. So you have your power strength, your power range, your efficiency, and your duration. Most of these, except from efficiency, are quite self-explanatory. Now efficiency is how much your abilities cost. So if that's at 100%, that's just your baseline. That'll be then it will not be changing. It will just be the base cost, and you will not have any benefits or negative effects. So right now I have, in this build I am using right now, I have 65% efficiency, meaning my abilities will cost 35% more energy. Now, most of the things in this game are actually, most mods, which are really important, but I'll get to those in a second, are based on percentages. Now, if you can see here, almost all of these are based on percentages. Percentages damage, shield stuff, armor stuff, and my stats. So, so I already explained what a Tenno is, what a Warframe is. Right now I'm going over to the weapons and the companions. So you can always equip 3 different weapons. You can unequip some. That's like, I'll quickly show you. There you go. Now I have no primary weapon. So you have a primary, you have a secondary weapon, which is this one right here, which is usually a pistol or like dual pistols. As primaries you have shotguns, rifles, bows, snipers, most of the weapons you have in other first-person shooters as well. And then you have a melee weapon for when you like run out of ammo, or maybe when you just want to go melee because it's the best strategy. That doesn't really matter. Then you also have companions, which are either cubes, or like this one, or other sentinels floating above your head, or dogs running alongside you. Now the dogs are called Kubros, but that's just a minor. So everything in this game that you can equip in your arsenal, except gear, that doesn't matter. So these first 6 boxes can be equipped with mods. So I already said I would get those. By the way, excuse me if I'm going too fast, but I actually want to do a mission after this, and I don't want to make this episode too long, but yeah. So I already talked about mods. Mods are basically just things that either make some abilities or weapons stronger or weaker. Now, usually, if it has a negative effect, that's because it has a huge beneficial effect. Like this one right here gives you a lot of power strength, so it takes some duration. This is a mod I got from an Orokin vault, which are special vaults you can find in certain missions. But most mods just have one beneficial effect. You also have mods that give both beneficial, give multiple beneficial effects, actually, is what I meant to say. Like, for example, Accelerated Blast. It gives me increased fire rate and increased puncture damage. Now, I'll get to puncture in a second. I'm already getting ahead of myself again, but that doesn't matter. So, there's multiple different types of mods. There's like normal mods, which just increase damage or something like that, one specific thing. You have nightmare mods, which are like rare mods you can get in certain missions as reward of certain missions or rewards from alerts. And they are really powerful because they usually increase two different effects, and they in a beneficial way. So they basically just buff you like crazy. And then you have vault mods, which are mods that increase one specific thing like a lot, but then also reduce another thing by a little bit less. So they are quite balanced. So yeah, I've talked about most of the things about mods. Now, what you need to know about mods is that they have a certain number at the top right. So right there, that's a number, and that basically is your drain. So that tells you how much it costs to put it in a weapon. Now, when I say how much it costs, when a weapon is level 30, and let me actually get to this one because this one is a better example for that. When a weapon is level 30, you have 30 mod slots to spend. So if you put in like something like a heated charge that costs 10, you actually drain 10 of that amount. So your capacity right here is now at 0 out of 30. Now you can mod, no, you can't actually mod weapons to increase capacity, but you can equip weapons with certain things that increase its capacity or reduce the cost of certain mods. Like right here, you can see that my Hornet Strike is, my drain is in green. That's actually because, let me just quickly unequip that. You can see there is a polarity right here. Excuse me again if I'm going too fast, but I want to get this over with. It's just the basic stuff. You'll get used to it quite quickly. So this is a polarity. Let me actually put that into it because then I have extra mod space. Oh, don't need that one. So that basically just takes half of the amount mod would drain and just makes it disappear. So like, if you you put a weapon, you put a certain mod on a matching polarity slot, then it cuts the drain in half. Now if you would put a mod with the wrong capacity on a polarity slot, then it adds a half. So you kind of want to make sure you only put mods with the same polarity type in it. So that's really important. Like high level weapons, like I switched away from my phage because of what I'm going to explain now. My capacity on my phage, which is a shotgun, just so you know, has 60. Now that is because when you go to actions, I have an Orokin catalyst installed, which doubles the mod capacity. You can also install a former to add a polarity slot, like one of these 7 runes. They're all different types of polarities. But you can only do that when your weapon is level 30 and it resets back to 0. So you basically have to level it again, but at the end it comes out stronger. So I don't really think there's anything more for me to say about mods, other than mods generally just increase damage or something like that. Like as you can see right here, these are quite high numbers. Now my phage is far from perfect. There's like, if you go on the internet, you will find so many different builds for so many different weapons in this game. It's insane. But right now, this has three different types of damage, and that's each of that type is actually made possible by 2 other types. Now let me just get back into this weapon again to show you the mods. So basically mods, like something like point blank, just flat out increases damage. Hell's Chamber increases multi-shot, which just gives you a chance to fire extra rounds, and I think they don't actually drain your ammo anymore. I think they used to, but they don't do that anymore. I have some other mods, but those aren't that important. It's these 4 bottom ones that are the ones that add these. So apart from your main damage and some weapons already having elemental damage, you can add mods that add elemental damage. So you have 4 different base types, which are electricity, toxin, heat, and cold. Now these separately all have different effects, like electricity deals damage and stuns, toxin deals damage directly to the enemy health, by the way. It's one of the only types of damage that can be affected, that can affect an enemy's health directly instead of their shields first. Then you have heat damage, burns your foes, which deals damage and kinda sends them into panic mode. And cold just deals damage and slows your opponent. So these are quite good. All of these effects are quite good, even if they don't add that much damage, just if you get the effects. But if you combine them, like as you can see here, Flame and Snowstar are blast damage. Blast damage is one of, I think, 6, let me just quickly check, yes, 6 types you can get by combining elements, and that deals damage to enemies that are basically machines. So there's certain factions that have certain enemies which are mostly machines, but yeah, I'll get to that later. That's not really important right now. So right now I was talking about elemental damage. These are basically some of the strongest effects in the game. Elemental damage is what most players go with when they want to get the most damage. Now I can also go to this weapon, and then you would see it has less elemental damage and the basic puncture, impact, and slash damage. So the reason my phage doesn't have those 3 is because it starts out with viral damage, and I just increased the viral damage and then added the corrosive blast to make it more effective against other types of enemies. But yeah, my Magnus has standard types of damage, which are puncture, impact, and slash. Those are physical damage instead of elemental damage, and they just come on most of the weapons standard in game. You also have melee weapons, they almost always do that, except like weapons like Silver and Aegis, which is a sword and shield that are kind of set ablaze, which is the reason that it only has heat damage. But yeah, so there you have it. Most elemental damage discussed. There's like what I said earlier is like most players go with elemental damage because they often are the highest of the damages. Because like, let me show you a Lotron, which is like really weak. I haven't modded it that much. I haven't installed an Orokin Catalyst because they're not that easy to get, and I haven't installed too many formers to get extra polarity slots. But this one, like you can see here, barely deals any physical damage, and then you also have the normal on-hit damage, compared to either my phage, which has like 3000 damage if I get all of those together, or a Tonko, which is a grenade launcher that, as you can see, deals about 5000 blast damage, which gets insane amounts of damage when you actually hit it, get status, which is an elemental damage or a physical damage proc, and crits at the same time. It can deal like, it can like one-shot anything. So important things when talking about status effects and elemental effects are your status chance. So the higher this percentage is, the higher your chance to actually get procs with like puncture, blast, toxin, viral damage on my phage, the corrosive damage, or something else. So whatever type of damage it can deal, apart from the normal on-hit damage, depends on the status. Because if your status is like 5%, it doesn't have any use modding a weapon to deal like 10k. Let me just quickly say something. Gas damage. That doesn't do anything because you only have 5% status chance. You only get that, like, you just, every shot you have a 5 out of 100% chance to hit that, but that's useless. So I think that's easy enough to understand for like anyone. So right now I'm gonna go over to something else. So I've talked about tenors, warframes, most of the weapons, the mods. Mods are basically the most important thing in the game. So most people are actually just farming or leveling to get more mods, to get more cash. Like, as you can see, I have 30,000 credits right now. I can do nothing with that. I can't do anything. It's basically useless. So I need to farm some credits, but yeah. Okay, I was lagging a bit there. If you walk around your ship, which you get like in the first few missions, you have to run some missions solo to get like everything you need for your ship. You have a foundry right here, which has every blueprint you have collected, so you can build stuff in here, but you need like a lot of cash to build most of these. Like, as you can see here, a lot of these things cost quite a lot. Bottom left corner, it says the amount of credit it will cost. And right here you have your mod tables. So these are all the mods you own. Like, as you can see, I have quite a lot, but as I already mentioned, I barely have enough. It's like insane. So let me just quickly get back to the top. Some of my mods are already quite high leveled, but yeah, that was kind of when I was a scrub. I don't use these anymore. I basically use this one, some of my Warframe mods, some other mods. But yeah, you need a lot of credits to actually increase the damage some stuff deals. Now let me just quickly say something, because I actually made the mistake of whenever I got certain mods, I would infuse it with the same mod. So if you have right here, you can see the duplicates. Don't do that. Don't make that mistake. Don't just take a mod, put all of its duplicates in. You don't have to do that. You can actually equip. If I take this mod, you can start fusing it, and you can put any mod in the game. I can even put this one in, but I don't want to do that. Not just because it's installed, but because you lose the mod in the fusion process. So better things to do are actually use fusion cores or duplicates. Always make sure you don't lose your mods, especially your leveled ones, unless you like want to get rid of them, but then it's better to sell them, because you can actually get some credits for them. But do not lose any of your mods. Like, that's really not worth it. So always when you want to increase something, when you want to increase a mod's level, just make sure you use either your cores, which are right here, fusion cores, which are made for fusing into other mods, so you can make them stronger, or use your duplicates, but make sure you don't use all of them. So make sure you always have one of each mod you get, because you might need them in the future. So that was just a quick side note, something I did in the past. I didn't think you could actually increase a mod's level by fusing it with another mod. I thought you could only do that with the same type of mod, but that's not true. So right now I'm gonna go over to the codex. This is the main deck of the ship. Your codex is right here, and basically contains every piece of information you need. So you have 4 different things right here. You have quests, universe, training, and missions. In universe, you can check out companions, you can check out warframes and orc wings. Like, there's a lot of warframes in the game. Check out your enemies. I haven't scanned any, so I don't have any of those. you can check out a lot of other things as training, which is basically what you have learned. This is what I've been talking about right now. So everything, all the tutorials you go through will also be put in here so that you can reread them so when you forget or when you take a break. And then lastly, you have your missions. So there's a lot of types of missions. So yeah, but I kind of see that I am basically around 20 minutes, so I didn't think I would be talking for this long about the basic stuff. I actually wanted to do a mission, but apparently that's going to have to wait until next episode. So yeah, I'm very sorry for that. I quickly wanted to do something.